Hello, sir. Is this Adam Page?
Yeah, it is. What's going on?
That's much. Well, how are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm good. I'm doing real good. I've been sitting around watching an animal program on the television here late at night. It's 11 o'clock over here. Man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
I was expecting you to watch Food Network. I heard you're a biscuit enthusiast.
I am a biscuit enthusiast, you know, but I don't think they have a program about just cooking biscuits. If they did,
well, I think Paula Jean knew how to cook
DVR,
biscuits before she was taken off the air. I think she knew how to do some great biscuits and gravy. But anyway, we were Ring of Honor month. We started back in a few weeks ago, and so we're having so many great stars on, and you're one of them. We really want to have on, and like I was saying earlier, that you basically made your name in Ring of Honor within 2013. Nigel McGuinness saw you and really liked what he saw. What do you think attracted you to Nigel McGuinness to actually bring you on the Ring of Honor roster?
Well, you know, I had a few matches there, and actually, I saw something the other day where I had my first match with Ring of Honor just over 3 years ago. It was a dark match in 2011, in January 2011. So yeah, I guess it was 3 years ago. So you know, I've worked with them a little bit before, and I went to their tryout camps. I did 2 of those, and don't ask me to tell you when they were. I can remember them, but I don't know when they were. But out of those camps, you know, I did a few dark matches here and there, and then I did a few matches on TV and so on. And a few matches at some of, you know, just the house shows that were, you know, straight to DVD or video on demand house shows. And then there was a particular match with Silas Young that that aired on TV. I think it might have been, I think it was this past June. And it was at the same time that I signed with Ring of Honor, and apparently it was a good match. So I guess that sealed the deal, you know. But I'd like to think that I also had other good matches before that too. So.
Most definitely, and I haven't seen a bad match with Silas Young. So I mean, I guess that's why. I mean, he has really, really good matches with anybody he takes on in the squared circle. But if you don't mind me asking, what entails a Ring of Honor tryout?
Well, you know, you say tryout, but really Ring of Honor runs these 2-day seminars and camps that essentially serve in a way as a tryout. It's not a specific tryout. You know what I mean? It's not like anybody gets a contract before they walk out the door that weekend or anything like that. So really, it serves first and foremost as a seminar. But when I went, you know, one of them may have been just 1 day. I know at least one of them was 2 days. So, and you know, they just looked at you in every way that they could. We did personal interviews, just you know, where we just talked about ourselves and who we were and where we were in life, because you know that's important to know. We did in-ring work. You know, they wanted to see how we moved and functioned in the ring. We cut promos in front of Kevin Kelly, and at the time Jim Cornette was there, and you know, even the guest trainers that were there would watch the matches and everything, and you know, we paired up and did matches and stuff like that for people to watch. So it was a really, I guess it covered all the bases. The seminar did, the 2-day seminar.
It must have been really intimidating to be in front of Jim Cornette. I mean, a guy that really knows how to talk, and for you to, you know, for him to expect you to deliver. I mean, it must have really been nerve-wracking, I guess.
Yeah. So like when I went to the first camp, I must have been, I think I was 18. I might have been 19, but I was probably 18 when I went to my first camp. And so yeah, like I was a kid, and you know, I've been there for maybe 2 or 3 years. You know, that point in my career, I'm looking back, I hardly knew what I was doing. So yeah, it was intimidating in a way. But, you know, I always like to try to keep the mindset with these kind of things that I got nothing to lose, really, you know, and, you know, it's not like I'm going to get anything taken away from me, even if it was the worst promo I'd ever cut in my life or anything like that. And, you know, this is a good opportunity to have. So it's intimidating, yeah, but it's a great opportunity.
And if you go into something like that with being nervous, I guess that they probably wouldn't think that you're not ready for it, because with professional wrestling, I would imagine that you can't really be nervous about many things. I mean, if you want to do well, at least.
Well, yeah, in a way, I think everybody's nervous. I don't think anybody would do it if they weren't nervous. When you lose those butterflies, that's when it's not worth it anymore. But, there's a difference in being nervous and being confident. You have to be, even if you are nervous, you still need to be confident. I guess that's the difference, and I always try to stay confident, even if I am nervous or, whatever the case may be.
I remember when we actually had Jesse Neal on in the summertime. He was saying that basically when the butterflies start, fading away out of your stomach, that's the time where you need to walk out, because, what are you working for, what's kind of driving you to walk out there and get excited if you don't have that bit of nervousness inside your stomach,
Yeah, exactly. God, this is wrestling, and if you're not excited about what you're doing, then you won't be nervous about it. So if you're not nervous, then you're not excited. And if you're not excited about what you're doing, and it's that way for a while, this is not something for you. Because if you're not excited about wrestling all the time, there are plenty of other professions that, you could find that I'm sure pay better, or I'm sure have, better perks, or have whatever, you know what I mean? So if you're not excited about what you're doing, this is not something you're going to be doing long.
We're actually being joined right now by Thomas Wesley. He was supposed to call a little bit, about 10 minutes ago. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I hear you, man. Sorry for being late. My bad.
Oh, no worries. But continue with your start. How do you actually get your start in professional wrestling? As a kid, what kind of drew you to actually, as a fan?
Let's see. When I was a kid, I got turned on to wrestling, and I guess my first favorite was Jeff Hardy. I'm a pretty young guy. I'm just 22, so, I picked up on wrestling when I was 8 or 9, maybe even 10, I don't really know, but it was when the Hardys were around, and my favorite, obviously, was Jeff Hardy at the time. Man, I don't know all of them, honestly, but Jeff Hardy was the one that I really liked. Especially being, the Hardys were from, I read their book and, all that stuff, I was like, oh, this is so cool. They're from a place I'm from. They're, this is so cool. I know where Cameron is. I found it on the map. It's right here. Oh, my God. Their dad's a tobacco farmer, so is mine. Oh, my God, this is cool. So, I was a big fan of the Hardys when I was younger.
I would imagine, because, I guess anybody who's seen the Hardys and seen what they actually did, they did some crazy stuff that I don't think many people would imagine to do these days. You're obviously not going to – I haven't seen anything like what they did in the 90s today. So I guess, so you're kind of attracted to the high-flying style?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I definitely was. When you're an impressionable kid, it's those really big, impressionable things that you're, initially attracted to. And over time, you grow a finer taste for this or that, or whatever it may be, but when you first start picking up on something, so it's huge, extreme things that really pique your interest, whether it's the Hardys flying all over the place, or whether it's Stone Cold, drinking beer and flipping everybody off and beating up his boss, or, whatever it is, those extremes that really attract you to it, and then as time goes on, you grow a more cultured taste, I guess. Not to say that they weren't good or anything like that, they're just, it was, the extremes of what they did.
So were you just attracted to watching WWF, or were you a guy that switched channels and watched WCW?
Well, I just watched WWF mainly because I didn't pick up watching wrestling until the whole WCW thing. WWE or WWF had just bought WCW. I don't even remember. I think I picked up during the Invasion angle is when I actually started watching wrestling and knew what was going on in the world of wrestling. So yeah, I never even saw WCW. I missed the whole thing. Obviously I've gone back and watched a lot of that, but I missed the whole thing as a kid, So I picked up during the Invasion angle.
So when you're actually, going forward in your career in professional wrestling, well, actually, the start before, did you do any high school sports?
Yeah, I wrestled, when I was in 8th grade in middle school. I would ride the bus to the high school and trained with the wrestling team at the high school, and I couldn't actually compete. I had a few exhibition matches, but I couldn't compete for the high school at the middle schooler. But I did that just 1 year, and it's one of those things where I really wish, like, those other 4 years of high school I would have kept wrestling. But, you know, as I guess when I was 11, 12, 13 at the time, I don't know, I just wanted to come home and jump on a trampoline and watch wrestling, do stuff like that. That was kind of boring. So, no, I didn't do anything else as far as playing sports during high school until I actually started wrestling.
Oh, okay. So you hold on. Afterwards, you know, you're getting started. When do you actually start? Were you like Daniel Bryan and basically day after high school go up to, you know, into a wrestling academy and started training?
Well, no, my cousin actually, you know, not long after I got into wrestling, was dating a guy who was an independent wrestler. You know, doing really small local stuff around. And, like, he was so cool with us. The whole thing was so cool. I was like, yeah, I want you to train me to be a wrestler. And here I am, like, 10 years old. Yeah, I want you to train me. Come on, when are we going to do it? And then he kept, you know, when you get older, I'll train you. And finally, I was probably about 15, and they were dating at this point. You know, he was like, well, okay, fine, let's do it. So I traveled around with him and, you know, some other friends, and they would just take me around, you know, wherever they were wrestling that weekend. They'd take me around, or I would drive, or whatever, and we'd train for a few hours before the show, and then I'd get to watch the show, and then, you know, go home. And that was my initial training.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all good. I just have one question, Adam, man. First of all, good talking to you, man. It's really cool to talk to you. Look forward to more Ring of Honor. But like, because I always ask a lot of guys this. Like, when you first like started training and doing everything, was it what you expected, more or less, or were you surprised, like by anything?
I do remember. I mean, I don't know. You know, at that point, especially like having those friends that were in wrestling, I knew a lot about, you know, wrestling. Obviously, like I thought I knew everything, but you know, I knew a little bit more than the average person. But actually, physically getting in the ring for the first time and actually, you know, taking bumps and doing this and doing that, it was a total shock. Because, you know, like you watch it and you grow up thinking, oh, yeah, I know all about wrestling. I know how it all works. Oh, yeah, I know everything. And you get in there and you take your first few bumps, and the next day, like, I literally couldn't pick my own head up. Like, I was laying flat on my back in the bed and couldn't raise my head off my pillow. Like, could not. I had to physically grab the back of my head and move it, and that went on for days. And it didn't even do anything that bad. I took probably like 20 bumps or something like that in the first day. And couldn't lift my head and just was so sore. So that was really surprising.
I can imagine. So yeah.
Wait, so that basically usually when the day they go in the first training, I'm talking about anybody aspiring to be a professional wrestler, and they take a few bumps. That's usually when they decide if it's for them or if they're. I mean, basically, should I stay or should I go, type of thing. And that's I guess you stayed. I mean, you've been doing this since 2008, 9, or is this?
I think 2008. I think. So yeah, I guess I stuck with it. But yeah, I would say you know, I've never trained anybody, and certainly don't plan on anytime soon. But I mean, I would say that if you're going to quit, you're probably going to quit after, like, the day after that first training session. If you make it through that, that's one of the biggest days to make it through as far as training. But
so
yeah, that first day was really tough.
When you kind of style with your hat and other merchandise you wear, what is that? Was that kind of like a thing you actually thought about, or that you wanted to come out to the ring to, or was that just, you know, put on a hat and walk out?
Oh man, I didn't actually start like wearing a hat and wearing trunks until, you know, the past couple of years. When I first started, like, I had these long tights, and they were green and blue, and I had a character of any kind. I was just me. I was just wrestling. I guess if I really had to say I had a character, it was that I was the kid still in high school wrestling. I think that was my character. I don't know. I was wrestling for CWS Mid-Atlantic when I was in college. I was probably 19 or so when all that kind of happened too. And, like, one of my friends, whose name is coincidentally Adam, works for a hog farming company. And, like, they gave him, you know, T-shirts and stuff like that all the time, just, like, free stuff sometimes. And he gave me a hat, you know, this hog farming hat. And I never wore a hat in my life. I thought I looked stupid in a hat, especially with, like, this big hair I had. I was like, oh, okay, this is stupid. And I put it on, I was like, oh, it kind of looks cool. So I started wearing a hat for a little while. I was like, oh, I'm just going to wear it to the ring room night, and I did. And then it kind of became this whole thing. Everybody picked on me because they always thought I was a country bumpkin. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll be one. I guess I'll you know, get like took the Alabama logo and made it my logo and put it on my trunks and put it on my hat and stuff. I'm like, all right, that's who I'll be then.
Wow. I remember, you know, first seeing you and wrestle and for Ring of Honor. That's when because I haven't seen you. I didn't really see you until you debuted in Ring of Honor, and that's when I seen how really good you were. I'm like, whoa, my God, got a good guy here.
Oh, thank you.
And just when you I think you bring something new to the table with just your style and how you present yourself with your your hats and stuff like that. They're actually available. You actually made them like, you know, put your name on it and stuff like that, and made your own, basically made it your own, and they're available on your website. But besides that,
thank you. At www.adamcagewrestling.com, if you click on the little shop tab, you can buy them if you'd like to. It would certainly help me.
Not only that, it's also got your T-shirts and in a bunch of different colors, like red, green, and brown, or black. I think it's black. But
they're brown. Yeah, those are there also.
$15 a piece. It's a good deal. Now, I was actually hearing recently, maybe not recently, I think it was a while back, that you were actually casted to play the leading role in a wrestling film called Bobby Champion. Did you guys actually start filming that, or is it out, or what's happening with that?
Okay, so Bobby Champion is we'll take you back to the first seminar that I did with Ring of Honor. There was a guy there named Rick Bauer, Bauer, I'm terrible with last name, it's Bauer, who was the camera guy filming the personal interviews we did. I went to Virginia Tech for college for my bachelor's degree in film. So, you know, I mentioned that, and he obviously knew something about film if he was running the camera. So I got to talk to him and know him over a few months, and he had written a script for a film called Bobby Champion about this wrestler in the 1980s. It's a whole huge story, but I'm not going to try to tell the whole story now, but it was for a film at the time I read it. I thought it was awesome. It was like the wrestler, but it wasn't depressing, you know. It was like the wrestler before he was old. You know, it was him becoming a star, that story. It was really, really good, really original. So I read it, and, you know, I never said that directly that I wanted to be in it, and I don't think he directly ever asked me. I just kind of think it was understood there for a while that we both wanted to work together on this thing. But then, you know, a year or more went on, and we didn't really talk about it or anything. They got picked up by a producer, and they actually want to develop a full TV series out of it as opposed to a movie. So now it's in the process of being written for several episodes of television. So that's really where we're at right now. Fundraising efforts and, you know, writing this for television is kind of where we're at. So there hasn't actually been any filming. Nothing's out. Nothing's signed in ink or anything. It's still in the developmental process, but it's something that I definitely want to work with.
Awesome.
I would definitely be interested in. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good, man. Because that sounds like a really cool. I was going to say that sounds like a really cool show. Actually.
Yeah, I think it has the potential to be something, you know, really cool. I'm excited to see where it goes. Giving it time and just, you know, seeing where this thing goes. It could be really, really cool.
Awesome.
Wait, so was this like a movie? You said I'm trying to decide this here. So you said it was kind of like a movie. They based it into a movie, and then they're trying to like cut it up into a series, basically. Or they're going to keep on filming. I'm
sorry. Can you say that last thing again? Are there people that or what?
I was going to say that did you? I kind of got confused with what you were saying. You say it was basically a movie that they're cutting up to make it into a series, or this is a continuous process, like they want to continue filming it.
Well, nothing has begun filming at all. It was a script for a movie. That now they're taking kind of rewriting that movie script into several episodes of television, and that's kind of where it's at this point. Nothing's been filmed, nothing's been signed, or anything like that. It's just in the developmental process.
Now, who is actually the person that trained you?
Well, I guess when I was talking earlier about the guy, his name is Justin Flash. He's a wrestler around Independent, North Carolina, and his friend Jason Blade. Oh yeah, he's still around. He's doing his thing. But he was the one who was dating my cousin at the time. But they're around doing their thing, so they put me under their wing, for that first year or so of my career, and taught me a lot. And then from there, I went and trained at Jimmy Valiant's camp while I was in college, because his camp in Charlottesville, Virginia, isn't far at all from Virginia Tech. So I would go up there occasionally and train some with those guys, and also tried to go out to all these camps and seminars and stuff like that, Ring of Honor seminar and this and that I could. So, but I would really say that I've been trained by everybody I've ever worked with. I really wish I could go back in time and go to a reputable school to begin my training, but, I've obviously gotten kind of past that point in my career, I think. So I really say that my training has been with everybody who I've ever worked with. Those have been my trainers, really.
Trust me, I think you're doing pretty well for yourself because, hold on, you're doing pretty well for yourself right now because, you're excellent in the ring. I haven't seen, like I said, with Silas Young, I haven't seen a bad match, and your match with him, I think, definitely proved to everybody at Ring of Honor that you want to be and have that place in the company.
Well, of course I do. But thank you.
And another thing, did you actually watch Ring of Honor? Did you actually keep up with Ring of Honor prior to actually wanting to join them and be a part of the company?
Well, let's see. I don't think I think I picked up Ring of Honor on TV when it was on before Sinclair, when it was on it was something that came on DirecTV here anyway. I picked it up then, but I didn't necessarily watch it all the time. But I tried to keep up kind of with the things that were going on. And then I guess slowly as my career progressed, I kept up with it more and more because I found more and more it was something that I wanted to be involved in. So by the time that I actually started having matches there, I fully knew what was going on at that point.
And anybody that's actually gone to Ring of Honor and been successful, the people, I guess the officials kind of had to really see that, you had to have something kind of really special about you that made you stand out because Ring of Honor doesn't just take in anybody. You have to be somebody that's excellent and that's really good in every aspect, sort of. And I'm not going to say everybody's perfect or anything, but you got to be really good to be a Ring of Honor superstar.
Yeah, no, that's no joke. Especially, they place a lot more emphasis than other places on the actual in-ring product. Being able to have good, solid matches. And man, I'm honestly humbled to know that someone down the line thought that I was good enough to be in Ring of Honor. That's awesome to stop and actually think about. So it's kind of cool to think about.
Thomas?
I just wanted to ask. So since you're in Ring of Honor now, and I know you already probably got guys lined up, but who are you looking forward to face? That's on the roster currently. Who are you saying I can't wait to see how I do against him?
Oh man. God. Honestly, every single person on that roster is somebody that I would be excited to work with.
Yeah, I don't blame you for that answer. I really don't. I was just wondering if you had a top favorite of all of them, but I don't blame you for that answer at all. I really don't.
I don't really think I do, but I was thinking about this weekend. For me, it's not really the opponent or the match. It's the story that I'm involved in and able to tell. Because, I've had matches with people who are considered, like the best wrestlers in the world or whatever it might be. And those matches are always really good, but the ones that I remember and the ones that I appreciate the most and am proud of the most are the ones that I was, involved in and was able to tell continual stories through a series of matches or through, through something going on. Like, I like wrestling, but I love storytelling. So when you ask me, who do I want to wrestle? Well, I want to wrestle all of them, but really what I want to do is tell stories. That's really what, I enjoy.
That's cool.
And from people that's been really successful and they kind of watch other people who were successful, study them, are there any people that you actually study from the past, present, future that you kind of base yourself after? Not exactly base yourself and kind of like copy from, but kind of like study from.
Oh man, I study all kind of stuff. And man, like YouTube is our best friend in this day and age. Like I can't imagine what it would be like without that. But I try to keep up with everything current and study that. Try to watch a ton of stuff from the past. I'm a really big fan of Brad Armstrong. I'm a really big fan of, I don't know, man, all that stuff from like, the 70s and 80s. All of that is so good. And I don't claim to be like the biggest wrestling history buff because I'm certainly not. I didn't really grow up in it. But watching that stuff is really the best for me. So
do you actually watch I think this World of Sport, I think is so excellent because I love watching that. I don't know if you've ever caught on to that.
Yeah, I have. That stuff's really interesting to me too, like Johnny Saint, watching that kind of stuff. A ton of good stuff from them too. Particularly Johnny Saint's first thing that comes to mind. But and again, I don't claim to be the biggest history buff, but I definitely do go back and watch a lot of that stuff too. That stuff's really interesting.
So what are your upcoming shows? Any upcoming shows that you have on that you're going to be at in the future?
Yes, this Saturday I am wrestling for CWS Mid-Atlantic. The website CWS247.com. I'm wrestling the resident schoolyard bully, Zane Dawson, and he's cut a little promo on me, had a few words for me. I'll let him have his words. So you can look those up on their website as well. That's this Saturday in Gibsonville, North Carolina. I'll also be back there, I believe, on February the 8th, possibly. And then I'll be wrestling for PWX, and I want to say Charlotte and Winston-Salem on February 15th and 16th, I think, for Rise of a Champion as well. So those are the next few things that I have lined up.
And if you guys are wanting to see, buy tickets to any of those events, you can actually check out Adam's website, www.adampagerwrestling.com. He has links to all the stuff from PWX to FSPW, Ring of Honor, NCWA, all on his website. And plus, you can get all his merchandise, like his amazing hats and T-shirts that he has.
Yeah, I've got hats and T-shirts on that website, and I keep my dates fairly well updated on the website. I usually keep my dates kind of updated, but the rest of the site I have a really hard time keeping updated, like I said. So if anybody was really interested in doing that for me, that'd be awesome. But yeah, you can check that stuff out. All that stuff's there on my website. It's adampagerwrestling.com.
You have like T-shirts and hats and signatures and autographs and stuff, but there's one thing that's missing. You don't have your own Adam Page biscuit mix. Yeah, you
oh, man.
Barbecue.
Oh, my God, that is such a good idea.
I know it's a good
my
idea.
grandma, she makes the best biscuits in the world, and, like, if she could come up with, like, a biscuit. She makes them from scratch, though. So, I don't know if you can take scratch and put it into a mix, but, God, that would be awesome. That's a really good idea.
Or you can put a sticker on some Aunt Jemima, that'll work, too.
Yeah, I could. No, I couldn't do that.
That's probably illegal.
No, that would have to be legit. And maybe I could have, like, little biscuit cutters, like cookie cutters, but that'd be biscuit cutters, and it'll be my logo. You can, like, bake Adam Page biscuits.
That actually would be
a great idea. So good.
Yes,
great marketing, if anything.
I was thinking about it before. Because you are a biscuit enthusiast. I mean, it's like awesome. I never met a wrestler. Well, maybe a few. I don't know. I know because I know Jim Ross has his barbecue, so and he sells that really well. So I'm not even kidding. You need to like do that.
Well, if I knew how, I'd be on it right now. If I knew how to get started doing that, I'd be on it right now.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really a pleasure to talk to you, and hope to actually have you back on in the future.
That would be great. Hope you guys have a good night, and I hope you enjoy talking to my tag team partner, Corey Hollis, tomorrow night.
How odd is that? Yeah, we have him on. We're having him on tomorrow night. Top Prospect Tournament participant. Yes, thank you so much for coming on, Adam. Good night, man.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye.